Welcome back, folks, and this is another edition of You Can't Make This Up. I am Sheepdog Smokey, and apparently an ex-Bernie Sanders consultant is now in jail himself for, allegedly, planting weapons in a jail being constructed for a quote-unquote evil escape plot. I don't know how you'd explain anything that involves planting firearms and other weapons for inmates to use to assault guards and other personnel to escape. But we look at it, a former consultant for Bernie Sanders' 2016 presidential campaign was arrested after he allegedly planted loaded weapons and ammunition inside a Tennessee corrections facility that was under construction in an attempt to carry out a future jailbreak, authorities said. Criminal justice reform advocate Alex Friedman, who was not an inmate but allegedly was plotting to help prisoners escape when the facility opened, was arrested Tuesday on one count of felony vandalism. But Davidson County Sheriff Darren Hall said during a press conference that the allegations go far beyond that. The opening of the Nashville Detention Center, which was slated for April, was indefinitely postponed after his arrest, according to the Tennessean. Throughout the last several weeks, it was discovered that Mr. Friedman, over many months, had developed and implemented an extremely deliberate, and in my opinion, evil plan, Hall said during the press conference, which was broadcast by local NBC affiliate WSMV. Understand, this plan went far beyond vandalism. Ultimately, it included planting various tools, weapons, security equipment throughout this facility, all designed to assist in a massive escape plan. He went on to describe how the weapons included loaded guns and ammunition. What disturbed me most is not that this was about an escape, it was also about loss of life. Friedman worked with 2016 presidential campaigner Senator Bernie Sanders, independent of Vermont, as one of several consultants who educated him on criminal justice issues. It resulted in Sanders introducing a bill aimed at eliminating private prisons. Friedman told The Atlantic in 2015 that the bill did not go far enough to achieve that goal. It appears to be more for political purposes than to actually address the problems in our criminal justice system, he told the publication. Sanders' 2020 presidential campaign did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment. Sheriff Hall said the arrest came after an investigation stemming from a previous case involving Friedman, who was arrested in January on charges of including attempted burglary for allegedly posing as a construction worker to enter a different detention center multiple times, stealing keys and diagramming the layout of the center, which was still being built and not in use at the time. A press release from the Sheriff's Department said that corrections officials noticed on December 30th that 2 keys were missing. They viewed surveillance video and saw someone dressed as a construction worker who matched Friedman's description taking a key ring and then coming back and replacing it with 2 keys missing. Friedman, who was associate director of the Human Rights Defense Center and managing editor of its prison legal news publication, was released following that arrest after he posted $2,500 bond, and the case is still pending. HRDC Director Paul Wright declined to comment on the allegations, but told Fox News that Friedman resigned from the organization following his January arrest. Friedman's attorney, Ben Rabin, told Fox News that it was important to clarify that the new vandalism charge stems from alleged contact arising last year and not any recent actions concerning his previous arrest. He said the keys were returned to the sheriff's office and that Friedman had been cooperative. Mr. Friedman surrendered himself immediately after being advised of the new charge, Rabin said. Friedman is currently in custody following his arrest, with bond set at $2.5 million. His next court appearance is scheduled for February 26th, with an April 6th date set for the previous case. Honestly, this attitude is not new or surprising to me in any way. We have had several years of people demanding the abolition of private prisons, and in some cases, I would not argue. It is not the entire private detention facility industry that I disagree with. But having been a detention officer for a local county sheriff here in Texas, I know and I've seen some private prisons that should be closed because the way those specific institutions are being run is abhorrent. But it's not the entire group, as any situation will be. It's not all liberals that are violent. It's a lot of them, but in some states, but not all of them by any means. Not all cops are bad. Not all of any one group fits any one descriptor, and never will, because groups are made up of individuals. But for this person to plant weapons, including loaded firearms and other ammunition, inside a prison being constructed for later use to kill the guards and escape it's as the story said, it's evil. This is someone who says, I don't like this industry, so I'm going to have a way for them to be killed violently so that we can close them down. Now, I personally expect someone from the ACLU or some other far-left group to demand he be released instantly and apologize too, because he was just trying to work for the innocent people imprisoned for no crime. This is much like when Handler went on Twitter to say President Trump only pardons white people, was instantly told by someone who had been pardoned that she's black, and Handler doubles down. Well, you weren't really a criminal. It's the same story over and over again from the left. Someone does something monumentally stupid, and the left defends them vehemently. I'm going to watch this one because as a former corrections officer, detention officer, even if I decided I am not law enforcement, never want to be law enforcement again, I am a better firefighter and always will be, I still don't want to see them harmed or worse just because one nut job, far left nut job, decides you work in this industry, you deserve to die. It's odd because in the last day or so, Keith Ellison has asked for examples of Bernie bros that have done stuff like this. Steve Scalise simply said, I know one. I pointed to that. I've also pointed to this, where this guy is basically arming inmates in the future to kill the people working in the detention facility. And Ellison, of course, will never acknowledge those, and he'll go on to crow that no one could point to a single thing, and he'll mute or block anyone who says wrong. This is abhorrent to me. Much like the supposed anti-fascists who are using every play from Nazi Germany's playbook, every play out of the brown shirts' rules of engagement, to silence all who would dare disagree with them. This is just another play in that book. Fine, you won't obey me, I'll manage to find a way to get you killed. Oh, you found a way to stop me? Well, I'll just play up the victim card in court, and I'll get released, and I'll just plant ideas and have other people do it. We are going to have to make examples. Antifa need to be arrested en masse and charged as domestic terrorists, because that's exactly what they are. Mask-wearing cowards who prey on the public to induce fear, to demand obedience. This person is acting from the same playbook. You didn't obey me, so I'm going to set up a way to get you killed so that the prison has to close anyway, and I'll just keep doing it until you let all these murderous thugs and other criminals back out on the streets. It needs to stop, and the only way it's going to stop is when examples are made. When people like Friedman go to prison for the next 40 years or more. When Antifa are down for 40 to 70 for terrorism. When anyone who is involved in anything approaching this is held accountable for their actions. But I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think. Remember, keep it civil. We want a debate, not an argument. As always, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you're able to know when any new content is posted. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.